Hello, Ungoogleable. Welcome to your life. Today is beautiful. Please log in.
Employee or contractor, private or general, who had top secret NSA clearance and access to an NSA computer. But Snowden's access while in Hawaii went well beyond even this. I was the top technologist for the information sharing office in Hawaii, he says. I had access to everything. Well, almost everything. There was one key area that remained out of his reach, the NSA's aggressive cyber warfare activity around the world. To get access to that last cache of secrets, Snowden landed a job as an infrastructure analyst with another giant NSA contractor, Booz Allen. The role gave him rare dual-hat authority covering both domestic and foreign intercept capabilities, allowing him to trace domestic cyber attacks back to their country of origin. In his new job, Snowden became immersed in the highly secret world of planting malware into systems around the world and stealing gigabytes of foreign secrets. At the same time, he was also able to confirm, he says, that vast amounts of U.S. communications were being intercepted and stored without a warrant, without any requirement for criminal suspicion, probable cause, or individual designation. He gathered that evidence and secreted it safely away. By the time he went to work for Booz Allen in the spring of 2013, Snowden was thoroughly disillusioned, yet he had not lost his capacity for shock. One day an intelligence officer told him that our division of NSA hackers had attempted in 2012 to remotely install an exploit in one of the core routers at a major internet service provider in Syria, which was in the midst of a prolonged civil war. This would have given the NSA access to email and other internet traffic from much of the country. But something went wrong, and the router was bricked, instead rendered totally inoperable. The failure of this router caused Syria to suddenly lose all connection to the internet, although the public didn't know that the U.S. government was responsible. This is the first time the claim has been revealed. On March 13, 2013, sitting at his desk in the tunnel surrounded by computer screens, Snowden read a news story that convinced him that the time had come to act. It was an account of Director of National Intelligence James Clapper telling a Senate committee that the NSA does not wittingly collect information on millions of Americans. I think I was reading it in the paper the next day, talking to co-workers, saying, "Can you believe this shit?" Snowden and his colleagues had discussed the routine deception around the breadth of the NSA's spying many times, so it wasn't surprising to him when they had little reaction to Clapper's testimony. It was more of just acceptance, he says, calling it the banality of evil, a reference to Hannah Arendt's study of bureaucrats in Nazi Germany. It's like the boiling frog, Snowden tells me. You get exposed to a little bit of evil, a little bit of rule breaking, a little bit of dishonesty, a little bit of deceptiveness, a little bit of disservice to the public interest, and you can brush it off. You can come to justify it. But if you do that, it creates a slippery slope that just increases over time, and by the time you've been in 15 years, 20 years, 25 years, you've seen it all, and it doesn't shock you. And so you see it as normal. And that's the problem. That's what the Clapper event was all about. He saw deceiving the American people as what he does, as his job, as something completely ordinary. And he was right that he wouldn't be punished for it because he was revealed as having lied under oath, and he didn't even get a slap on the wrist for it. It says a lot about the system, and a lot about our leaders. Snowden decided it was time to hop out of the water before he too was boiled alive. At the same time, he knew there would be dire consequences. It's really hard to take that step. Not only do I believe in something, I believe in it enough that I'm willing to set my own life on fire and burn it to the ground.
February 22, 1999. Term developed by Scott Murphy. Disgrace being when Sierra closed down its Oakhurst, California facility, firing two-thirds of the employees there. Scott Murphy, who was an old-timer at Sierra, also had to pack his bags as his contract had expired and was not renewed. The rest of the employees have been given an opportunity to relocate to other Sierra divisions like Bellevue, Washington. The Oakhurst facility was the root. Mic check 1, 2.
Congratulations. You reject the good enough. You reject words like symbolism and postmodernism. Obsolescence is not part of your vocabulary. Every night, every day, every step of the way. The diktat of fashion.